So the project was to create new residence halls at Bowdoin College. College was finding a need to create new upper-class housing on campus, help bring students who had taken up residence off campus and bring them back in. They had done a pretty extensive study to determine what the students were looking for. And from that, they identified that, above all, the students really wanted a home-like experience.
So what they found in their study was students were looking at significant things that they weren't getting on-campus housing. So it was their own bedrooms that they weren't sharing. It was larger beds. It was a place where they could get together on game day or study nights or family dinners and sit down and congregate.
And these are upper-class housing. And students are beginning to leave campus then and become adults, and really wanted to have that type of experience. And so that was the goal of the project, to create approximately 88 beds there on campus. The most challenging part of this project was that it was a fairly small parcel of land that the college has. And what's interesting is the parcel of land sat between the street edge, and it sat also on the campus edge as well. And so the immediate building that was right behind this parcel of land was a fairly large institutional residence hall, institutional looking, brick and steel and multi-story. However, on the street, there is classic New England architecture. And so the challenge was, how do you bridge that? How do you create a building that acknowledges its front edge on the street and a second edge on the campus side? And in the end, the buildings are set up such that they alternate, they shift in and out along the street edge. So as you're driving down the street, you really only see two houses at a time. But when you look straight on, you clearly see that there's four. And it's a fairly dense site, so it's almost urban within a suburban environment, which was unique to the campus and unique to that area. But we heard from others that it was very well integrated into the site, and they were very happy with the outcome.
We had a sustainability workshop, and we had an integrated design meeting with all the consultants. Bowdoin College was there, and we talked about what are Bowdoin's goals with regard to sustainability. So at that meeting, we sort of floated the idea of, well, could this be a passive house building? You know, it's a residence hall, it's a relatively low energy use building, and we think it could fit. What do you think about doing something like that? And so pretty quickly after sort of educating them, Thornton Tomasetti was involved, RFS was involved, talking to them about what exactly that means, they realized that really this did align with their goals, and it was something they wanted to try and go for. When we look at passive house, we were spending like a 3% premium at the beginning of the job for 50% energy savings. And I think once we started talking in those terms, Bowdoin could really see sort of the benefit to their bottom line.
Several of the people that I'd really like to thank for this is Tim Foster, who was the Dean of Students at the time, Lisa Randall with Resident Life, and the entire student group that participated in our design meetings. They had such an important voice, well thought out questions, and they took the opportunity to make this space theirs.
So we'd like to thank the project team, Sebago Technics, Rissfrost Shumway, Thornton Tomasetti for both structural and energy consulting, and of course Bowdoin College.